The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, good morning, everyone. It's March 19th, 11 a.m. Eastern, and this is Josh LeMaster, and I'm the Chief Financial Officer, one of the co-founders of Perfect Golf Event. And I'm going to be joined here in a minute by Eric Anderson with Vortex Weather Insurance. And I thought I'd take just a quick minute and just share with you kind of why we have this partnership between Vortex and Perfect Golf Event. Some of you may have come in because you're working with Vortex, and some of you may have come in because you're working with Perfect Golf Event. So we got to know Eric and Vortex several years ago through mutual acquaintances here in Northeast Florida. And what we were looking for was a way for our events, and we're working with thousands and have worked with tens of thousands of events over the past 10 years. Looking for ways for those events to protect themselves from rain, specifically, weather in some cases, but certainly rain. And event cancellation insurance, has certainly got its place, but we found that to be a bit cumbersome for at least our events, that are oftentimes one-time annual events, and sometimes they're kind of loosely organized, and we found that the Vortex products were just a lot better and a lot more economical. So to that end, recently after a couple of years of partnership between Vortex and Perfect Golf Event, we're actually extending through all of the events that use our software platform and upgrade to one of our higher upgrade packages. We're actually going to include rain coverage in those packages. So if you haven't checked out Perfect Golf Event, please do so, and you'll see, we have a free package, and then as you get into some of the other packages that actually will include some coverage for Vortex. So all that said, I'm recording everything that you're seeing on the screen. I'll be sending that out as a video link. You'll also get a PDF of what you're seeing on the screen that you can share with your colleagues and others on the committees that you're working with. And all that said, I'll send out all of that in an email, maybe about 30 minutes after we finish today. And let me introduce Eric Anderson with Vortex.
Josh, thank you so much for the introduction. Welcome, everyone. Glad to have you on our webinar. As we usually give around 17 to 20 of these a year, so happy to have everybody here today. We've got a very large group. It's exciting. And also, we're excited to continue our partnership with Perfect Golf Event, Josh and his team. They are the best in the business. We're thrilled to continue to work with him and the new products that he talked about. If you go on the website, you can understand more about the protection piece. So we're thrilled. You're probably going to see a press release come out over the next couple of days about that as well. But throughout additionally, throughout the presentation, whether you're a first-time organizer or you've been doing this 5, 10, or 20 years, I want you to think about your golf tournament. Okay, and your overall goal is to raise money for your charity, memorial, foundation, etc. And the possible impact of the expected target revenue number if a little bit of rain comes, a medium amount, or a lot. And I'm going to walk through the product, how it works in about 20 minutes, show you examples, but a couple things to remember is that you don't have to be rained out to collect with our product, and you don't need proof of loss. And so that's very important to understand. You could play through the rain and still collect and receive money. I just, a customer of ours, she had a gala last weekend when those terrible storms came through the country. Her evening was she had an evening gala to raise money, and it got completely washed out. So she's getting a check for $50,000 in less than a week. And she turned around and they had a rain date. So I want you to keep those kinds of things in mind as we go through the presentation. So again, thanks for joining, everyone. Really excited. I'm going to walk through this now. And so what we like to say is, don't let bad weather slice into your club's bottom line. You can't predict the weather, but you can help protect your business from it. There's a myth out there that insurance agencies don't know weather. Turns out we're weather nerds. We're proud of that. Our team has over 100 years of combined experience in the weather risk management industry, and we've been helping protect events since 2008 using data-driven policies that mitigate risk. A little bit about us. We are a subsidiary of MSI Guaranteed Weather, which has been in the weather risk management over a quarter of a century. And since 2008, Vortex has specialized in insurance products for all outdoor events, fairs, festivals, concerts, weddings, galas, lacrosse tournaments, zoos, you name it, we've written it. And then in 2019, we started offering protection for golf tournaments and properties, charity events, country clubs, heavy play weekends, all the way up to the PGA and Champions Tour that are customers of mine. And lastly, Vortex Insurance, our carrier is Mitsui Sumitomo. That's our parent company, and we are rated A+ by AM Best. I get asked that question a lot. There's a picture of me. I've been the National Director of Sales since 2019. Before that, I've been and still am in the weather derivatives space. I traded it on Wall Street. I was the broker for Guaranteed Weather for over 15 years. So I've been doing this a very long time. Before that, I played golf professionally. I worked at Augusta National, where the Masters is, in a couple of weeks. If anybody's going to be up there, I'd love to see you. I'm going to be up there. Sorry. So here's a slide, another myth, that in the golf business, you can't fight Mother Nature. And we say not so fast, that you can stand up to Mother Nature and help protect your revenue with Vortex. Across the country, savvy golf course operators, event planners, organizers are using our rain insurance as a risk management hedge. Okay. Now, as a hedge, what are you actually hedging? Okay. You can, anticipated heavy play periods like 1-day events with a gala, 2-day tournaments, 3-day member gas, seasonal monthly hedges, Monday, Thursday golf outings. Most of you on this call, that's what we're going to talk about today. But some of you have multiple roles where you might have other outdoor events that are tied to the golf outings. Holiday weekends, July 4th, we write for July 4th, fireworks and parties and those kinds of things. We can structure that for you as well if it's tied into it, members, member guests. Again, keep thinking about, in the event that you have a little bit of rain, a medium amount, or a lot, what it's going to do to your overall bottom line. So what's at risk with these tournaments and pro-ams and corporate outings, fundraisers? The pieces of the puzzle that go into your event overall targets are the food and beverage, the merch for these tournaments. Demo, whether it's a demo day, you have all these cool things in and around your event. Hole-in-one optionality on certain holes, drone drops. People out there hitting long drives, or with those guns that shoot the balls to the holes. All these kinds of things that go into the equation, the costs, right? And I can help you understand, okay, what's your overall revenue? What are your cost numbers? What's your expected numbers? And then we can back into policies where it makes sense, where you spend the right amount of money and you're protected properly within the certain amount of hours of your event. Okay, very important slide here, rain insurance versus P&C insurance. The chance of sustaining an adverse rain occurrence for a golf event is significantly greater compared to traditional P&C events. Here's the chance of a potential insurance claim on a single day over a 20-year period. There's car insurance and there's home insurance, very low, hopefully, probability. When you get into this next slide, okay, as a comparison, here's the chance of a 1/4 of an inch of rain falling on any single day. This is just between June and August, significantly higher. So the probability is much, much higher, right? So it's something to think about as I help you walk through the different ways that we structure the weather insurance for your tournament, because every tournament is different. Okay, another myth, rain insurance is complex. Good news is Vortex makes it simple. Okay, this is how rain insurance works. Rain insurance is parametric. What does that word mean? It means that it's if the rain insurance is triggered simply if recorded rainfall at your location meets or exceeds the threshold listed in the policy during the coverage period. Proof of loss or event cancellation is not necessary for the policy to trigger and pay a claim, okay? So at the end of your event, we send you an expiration report, which shows you the hourly reading, okay, that we get from WeatherWorks. When the data comes into us, our data analysts and our PhDs look at it to make sure the data is clean. And like our customer who just had a payout, you're going to see a testimonial. She got the report. We sent it to her. We filed a claim, and she's going to be receiving the money on this Friday. She's thrilled. So it's actually less than 2 weeks. Okay, how does it work? Vortex uses WeatherWorks claim determination system. I can send all of you, when I get to meet you, a PDF that explains who WeatherWorks is, how the measurements are made, and the claim determination system, and I can educate you on that. It provides recorded hourly precipitation measurements as little as 0.01. We write policies as low as 1/10 of an inch. We can go all the way up through 1 inch of rain. So here are the policy options. Shotgun coverage. Most of the tournaments out there are run this way, where everyone goes on the golf course. They're at a particular tee. Just say it's 12 o'clock shotgun. You have a 11 o'clock sign in with a little bit of lunch, etc. Everybody goes out there and they play. Then they come in for the dinner, etc. Okay, the ladder coverage to the far right is another example where the more that it rains, the more that you're paid back, okay? I'm going to show you how that works as well. Extended hours of coverage. Very important to understand this. I'm in the process of renewing with a customer where her event teed off at 9 o'clock, the shotgun. However, the contract language that they had with the golf course, okay, said, if they get through 9 holes, it's considered an event. So what she did is instead of having, say, 9 to 1 or 9 to 2, she decided to start her coverage at 3 a.m. And this is why. She bought those hours because if it rains at those hours, okay, all the way up to where the first ball is in the air for the shotgun, but it rained and she wasn't covered, and then the golf course is unplayable, she wouldn't be covered. So she decided to buy the hours before. That adds to the whole aggregate of the rain policy. Very smart. I can help you understand that and price up 3, 4, or 5 scenarios and walk you through why you might want to do that, because a few hours before, if it's raining and just say you lose 10, 20 people that might have come and spent X amount of money at the lunch, on the golf course, at the dinner after, you think about those kinds of funds that you would have lost versus a couple of, spending more money in the insurance premium. So the parametric options, okay, the hours of coverage, I can help you with that, whether it's per day or multi-day events. I can write policies as low as 1/10 or through 1 inch of rain. Obviously, 1/10 of an inch is going to be more expensive because the probability is higher than, say, an inch of rain. Sorry. The insurance limits, they can vary by day, and I'm going to show you that in an example of a tournament that's been working with us for a lot of years. Okay, the use of hourly data allows us to concentrate only on the hours when rainfall could negatively impact business operations, okay? So this is what I was just talking about. Usually, if we use the 12 o'clock, shotgun version again, if you bought, instead of saying 12 to 5, and you bought, you took 2 hours off the back and you put it to the front. If people are there at the golf course and they start to get wet, say on 15, 16, 17, they're going to want to go inside dry off, hopefully have some cocktails, and spend a lot of money at your auction, your silent auction, etc. So depending on your budget, if it allows you to have more money to spend, or I always encourage to put some hours on the front end. If not, I'll help you structure it where we can shave hours and put it on the front end and make sure that within your budget, we get the policy that makes the most sense, and I can help you do that. That's what I do every day. Okay, here's where the Players Championship was this past weekend. Here's just an example of the gridded data, historical data. I can show you this, show you what the rain looks like, within your area, in the hours of past years. If it's your first year and you want to see the last 5 years, I can help you understand this a little bit better. Just this past weekend, if you saw, the Player Championship was delayed by 4 hours, and they just got right around 1/3 of an inch of rain, significant rain in just those 4 hours. Another myth, that rain insurance is too expensive. In reality, our team works for you to create a policy that fits your needs and budget. We've really understood the needs of golf tournaments, and what you're trying to do, what you're trying to protect, and so we've created different kinds of ways to help you mitigate your risk. Okay, rain insurance priced using historical probabilities. Your location, Florida, it's going to rain more than it is in Arizona. Seasonality, obviously very important. We're going into spring here, but in the winter in Florida here, it doesn't rain as much. In the summer, it doesn't rain as much in the morning as it does in the afternoon. I think everybody can understand that. The longer the duration of the risk period, the more expensive it's going to be. But again, I'm going to show you in the different examples when I get to meet all of you, and walk you through all the different ways that we can create policies. Okay, so here's an example of a $10,000 policy a few years ago, back down at Palm Beach Gardens at PGA National. They decided to have an event to cover a limit of $10,000 from 10 to 3. Again, this is in the winter time. So on 1/5 of an inch, it cost them $420. That means that in between the hours of 10 and 3, if it were to rain 0.20 or higher, the customer would get $10,000 in less than 2 weeks. It doesn't matter if the rain comes at 10:01, at 2:59, if it rains at 1 o'clock in 5 minutes and just has one of those storms where it just comes down and then it's beautiful again. It doesn't matter when the rain comes. As long as it totals per hour to hit 0.20 or higher, you're paid. It's that simple. Okay, so here's our ladder approach. This is again over at TPC, right around the corner here. And this is for a tournament that was looking to cover $150,000 from 10 to 3. So in the event that it would rain 0.20, go through 0.20 and not touch 0.33, the customer would get $15,000, or 10% of the $150,000. In the event it were to rain through 0.33 and not touch 0.5, they would get the $15,000 and the $45,000. So the more that it rains, the more that you're paid back. So you can understand the metrics of loss, but you're paid back. So we can get really creative with different kinds of policies. This is our ladder or tiered approach. And then here's a member guest in South Carolina. They decided the coverage period, as you can see, is different each day. They kept the threshold the same and the limit the same. So if you have, whether it's a member guest or a multi-day event, we can get really creative, and each day is independent of the other day. So just keep that in mind for those of you on the call that have events that have either galas or events into galas, or there's, I'm starting to see a lot of events have pickleball optionality. Some play golf, some play pickleball, but I can help you when we get on the call and walk you through that. Okay, so here's a sample payout. A customer of ours, repeat customer, they did have a rain date. Okay, I'm asked that all the time. Typically, when there's a rain date, the amount of money, because people had their date on their calendar, usually it's not as well attended. Okay, so sometimes if the event is with 2 weeks past, because we have a 15-day policy, and I'm going to touch on that in a second. Sorry if you're hearing nails in the background. They're building a house next to me. In this customer, Pinnacle, Gary, the premium was less than $700. It rained through 0.33. He got $25,000 rather quickly, as you can see. And he went ahead and he bought rain insurance for his rain date as well. So I can help you understand that when we get on the call. So here's our customers, all the PGA sections. They usually buy back from us. I'm in the process of writing for repeat customers for the Carolina section right now. PGA Magazine, I've done a lot of NFL alumni charities for them. Demo day at the PGA show. We just did our 4th year with them. The Travelers on the PGA Tour, they had a 6-figure payout last year. And the Dicks, they had a 6-figure payout as well on the Champions Tour. Repeat customers, several years working with them. Folds of Honor, I've done multiple chapters for events with them. Buffalo Group is all of our marketing, and obviously Perfect Golf Event. We can't be more thrilled to be in our 4th year with them. So we're very excited to be working with Josh and the team. So as we conclude here, here's a couple testimonials. We're right at the 20-minute mark. But Josh, are there any questions I can help with to our audience today?
Thanks for hammering through that, Eric. And yeah, a couple of things on chat here. Sorry. A few things came on chat. Let me rephrase the question a bit. I think I know what they're asking. So it's asking about the timing and how the timing impacts pricing. So I guess how early in it they need to make a decision to use you, and how late can that go, and how does that impact pricing?
Yeah, no, great question. We understand that events, they might have to wait until the 23rd hour because they're raising funds, et cetera. So the drop dead date to execute a policy is 15 days prior to your event date. Okay, usually everyone pays by a portal link that I'll send you. It's a credit card link. It's very easy, and the policy is generated. We do encourage that you do it in advance as a line item. When I price your event, say today, it's a 45-day lock on the pricing. Okay. Now, if your event's in November and we have to reprice it, it can go up, it can go down. It's not going to deviate too much, but usually in the beginning, we always encourage people to try to bind within that 45-day window.
Thank you. I've got 2 other ones here, and everybody, if you have any quick things, you can either raise your hand in the toolbox that you have, or chat back with the one I chatted with everyone. So the next one is, I guess it's centered on what do they need to give to you to prove that they had a claim, and what paperwork is required, basically.
Yeah, no, great question. Again, I'm asked this every day. And that's the beauty of our insurance, is that you don't need to submit anything. So what we do is we provide the hourly reading via WeatherWorks, the company that we work with across all of our products. And we will show you the hourly reading within the hours that you purchase that are in your policy. Every customer gets an expiration report sent to them. So you don't have to do anything. You don't have to send us anything. We'll provide that to you. And it comes within a few days after your event.
All right. Thank you. And the last question, at least as I see right now, is I get you were just mentioning on WeatherWorks. So can you describe a little bit about the kind of the area where they're measuring the rainfall and things like that? Maybe a little bit of how that works.
Yeah, so basically, WeatherWorks has several ways that they look at radar, water runoff. It's a very scientific methodology that they come right down on top of or in and around your property. And do these scientific measurements. And so, not to get too granular, as an example, what we used to do, we used to use a different company, and this is even more scientific now. So the whole country is gridded in 2.5 mile by 2.5 mile squares, right? So we would look at your square. Now we come and take the measurements per hour from the NOAA. Now we're using WeatherWorks, and when I speak to this person and all of you, I'm going to send you, not to go too crazy granular, but in the past, when we would work through, weather swaps and derivatives and look at rainfall, what happens, usually all the airports, okay, the government measures the data at the airports, okay, the rain data. Well, what happens if your golf course is 5 miles away? You have basis risk in the reading between the distance, okay? It could be raining at the golf course and not where the reading is, or vice versa. We basically eliminated that. And using WeatherWorks and their scientific methods, they take readings and recordings basically on top of your property at your golf course, and using the highest tech information and methodology to make sure that the readings are precise. And so, again, I could talk about this for a very long time, but I have PDFs that will go very deep into this, and then I can send to you, the customer, to explain this further.
That's great. I don't see any other hands up. So, Eric, I appreciate the presentation as always. I always learn a little something new every time you go through it. And thanks for all the great questions. I'll be sending out everything you've seen in about 30 minutes here, as soon as the video gets downloaded. And Eric, I appreciate your time, and let you close it out.
Yeah, no, Josh, thank you very much. Here's an example. If you can see the screen, this is the customer in Alabama. And this was her reading that we sent to her from WeatherWorks, that was formulated, and the hourly readings and the total. So it went all the way through. So this is what you will get, something like this, to show you the precision per hour and then the total aggregate. So with that being said, thank you, everyone. I really look forward to meeting you, understanding more detail about your event, and then ultimately send you some pricing examples. So call me, email me, here's my information. All I need from you is your golf course, the date, the hours to insure, and the amount to insure. So if you could send those things to me, even if you're not sure whether it's $5,000 or $50,000, I can send you several examples. But if you could send me those things in an email, just so you can take a look at some of the pricing, I'll try to turn that around for you as fast as I can. And I look forward to meeting all of you. So Josh, thanks again. I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks all. Have a good day. Bye-bye.